Let's wait. Let's see. I cannot see that far, but we're going to share on Ramona Home, post to Facebook. We're gonna recap in a second. Are you guys ready? All right, so we'll continue with this. Well, that was exciting, but as I was saying when all of this was happening, so we have our grapevine wreath. This is an 18-inch grapevine wreath. And what I was telling you guys is that what I want you to do is to think further than just the form. If you keep it, I've seen a lot of people do wreaths where they keep it so tight to the form that they end up with a tiny little wreath. So what you're doing is extending the wreath form by adding all of this foliage. I was also telling you that this foliage comes in a little bundle, and it comes in three different sizes for one bundle. You get the big one, you get the medium one, and then you get the small one, all for under $8. I have it love it, so go ahead and get yourself some. Let's see. I want to say I'm looking forward to this class so I can make beautiful spring wreath. Thank you for Sarah and Kirita. Thank you guys for coming back. I don't know what was going on. I have so much going on. I have Facebook. I have here on YouTube. I have everything going on, and obviously my internet could not keep up with it. So let's just do it with YouTube, and then we'll share. So I'll ask you to like this video and share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Welcome and thank you for coming to Ramona Home. So what I want to do at this particular moment is take from where I was going. So go ahead and insert your bigger foliage. Always always insert one size of foliage at a time. So I started with the biggest one, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the medium one. So as I told you before, you want to start by pulling this bottom foliage so it doesn't um, get caught in the glue, and then you have a mess. So what I'm going to do is insert all of this foliage going on a clockwise motion, and always give that foliage a bend, because that will give it some shape, and you know that in nature it doesn't grow flat. So always give this foliage a bend. And I'll give you a tip too: always save some of this foliage for the end, because you want to add at the end to cover up a spot. So it's better if you just save some of this foliage and save it for the end. Since we already extended our form with the longest one, so now what we're doing with the medium ones is to cover the form. So I'm just adding this foliage, and always give it a bend, give it a tag, because you want it to have some sort of a lifelike expression instead of just flat foliage. And I was telling you before all of this happened, I am gonna be doing these wreath master classes, and I already have an idea for a burlap wreath that I think you guys will just die for. I'm always looking for ideas of things that we've probably seen in the past, but just give it new life, which I think it's my forte. All right, so let's see. I need something right here to kind of complete the form, and always pull these guys, because you don't want to end up with just clumps of glue on your wreath. So I want to fill right here and see how that's filling in. So I'm going to add one more, and I feel like there's a gap right here too. Now keep in mind, we do have other foliages we're going to insert into this form, but this basic foliage that I'm adding, is your first foliage is always the one that defines the shape of your wreath. So you always want to insert the biggest and the ones that do the most coverage into your wreath form to kind of get a little tag, to kind of give it that shape. So we have, I'm gonna save one of the medium ones and one of the small ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the smallest ones, and always add the small ones towards the middle of the wreath. Let's see. I'm gonna add one right here, just to kind of cover that. And I'm going to add one right here because there's a hole right there. And when you have these little ones, what you want to do is don't put them flat, and when you insert them, always pull them forward, you guys. So that way it gives you maximum coverage of your form. You always want to hide that grapevine because it's not flattering to see the grapevine when you have a wreath. Let me see if I can read some of your comments over here on Facebook. I'm sorry, on YouTube, since we're not doing Facebook. Oh my gosh, it does look a lot better. Thank you all who came back. This glue is called pellet glue, and I bought it on Amazon as well as the little container that I'm using. Let's see right here. So I do apologize for what happened earlier, but like I said, that's what happens when you have so many cameras going on at the same time. I guess my poor internet just couldn't keep up with me. All right, so that is our first foliage. Our second foliage is going to be this really pretty fern. Ferns also are what I call a form foliage because it gives your form some sort of a shape, and it also helps to fill in. So look what I'm doing. I'm cutting all of them at once because you always want to cut all of your foliages at once. You don't want to just be working and then having to cut foliage after foliage after foliage because that will take so much more time. Always remove your tags because I think they're so unflattering when you have tags showing. See how I just took all of them at once? I'm going to leave that one like that. And the reason why I do that is because it does help you work way faster. It's a way of prepping your tools to be inserted. So what I'm going to do with this fern, I'm going to go ahead and insert and start filling in. And so what I want to do with this is also go out and as well as in because that will help to maintain some sort of a balance and always going on that circular motion. So just remember to, when you have this many to play with or to work with, always insert one up and then one in, or one out and one in. Always keep that in mind, and you will have a beautiful, beautiful wreath. Look how that is helping. Now I want to grab some of the taller ones and put them up where the tallest ones are. Just put it right there for texture, like that. And then also one of the tall ones I want to put in the bottom to balance it out, right here. See, and that just creates so much texture. There's nothing prettier than a really well balanced wreath with greenery and different kinds of greens. I think it's so pretty when you have like all sorts of greens. And I always, whether it's a spring wreath or a Christmas wreath, I always try to add a lot of greenery to it because it adds so much character. Okay, it needs one right here. So we're gonna insert that right there. And then I feel like it needs one right here. So we're gonna go ahead and insert this right here. And we're gonna have one more kind of greenery, and then we're gonna get to the flowers. So do you guys have any questions I can answer so far? Hello Charlene, mom of three. Hello, hello. How are you girls doing? Thanks for tuning in. And sorry about the technical difficulties, but like I told you, I am not a techie person. I guess I was just trying to do too much at once and my poor internet just couldn't keep up. See, what I'm gonna show you right here is I'm gonna do 3 of them at once, and then I'm gonna give them a little bend, and that's just gonna create a tiny little cluster. And I feel like right here is a focal point, so we're gonna go ahead and insert this guy right here, like that, and just make it a little bit more lush. And then I have one with 2 right here, and so we're gonna go ahead and insert that right here to balance it off. And look how full it's looking, you guys. Already is looking like a wreath that I would be proud to put in my door. Love the video. Hey, thumbs up. Thumbs up, you guys. And also, don't forget to share this video. I'm so glad some of you are coming back because I had some technical difficulties and it was not cute, let me tell you. All right, then I have this this is kind of like a boxwood, and it just has more of a yellow tint, and because there's so much green going on, we have to break some of that down. So I chose some of these boxwood that I also found at Hobby Lobby for $6.99, and it was half off, so under $4. And what I want to do is I want to cut them all at once, like I said, to be able to work faster. So we're gonna give it a dip. This is what I call a filler because it's so bushy that it will fill some of the spots. Watch, there's a hole right here, you guys. And I'm gonna insert one of these guys, just one of them. Look how much coverage that does. And not only that, but because it has so many variations of green and yellow, has some yellow tint, it will help break down some of that greenery that we put in. Just a few touches of it will do the trick because you don't want this yellow to look like fall because it's a spring wreath, but you do want to have some form of a break in between the greens that we are adding to our wreath. I'm gonna add one right here towards the center and the inside. So I'm gonna lift this guy right here and I'm going to give it a bend right here so it shows. And always remember to work in a clockwise motion because that will give your wreath some balance instead of looking all cattywampus. There you go. So that's just enough of that breaking of the greenery. And it's looking fabulous so far. Let me see, I have a wall of flowers right here and I want to see what I want to add to this wreath. I have one more, actually I have two more ferns that I'm going to add. But I think I'm gonna add these little ferns towards the end because that's what's gonna give it some character. Look how beautiful this is, and this guy was only $7.99. It was half off at Hobby Lobby. I mean, I'm telling you guys. Now I wanted to talk to you guys about the which is fine. The Dollar Tree wreaths. You can use the same rules that I'm giving you. I do, however, think that if you use Dollar Tree items, then it's most likely gonna end up looking like a Dollar Tree. And I'm mixing actually some Dollar Tree flowers with my wreath, but I'm only using a few to fill in with my premium flowers that I had from the stores. And the reason why I want to do that is because you can bring some of those inexpensive items and just mix them with the expensive ones and nobody will know. And instead of having a really inexpensive looking wreath, you'll have a lush, beautiful, expensive looking wreath for a fraction of the cost because you are saving so much money by going to Dollar Tree and adding some of those items. Alright, so let me pick some of the flowers I have right here. I'm gonna pick some of these peonies. I'm gonna pick some of these roses. Let's see, let me add two of those, one of these. I'm gonna add, let me see. This is so much fun, you guys. Let me tell you, if you can create a wall like this of flowers and just have them in your workstation, then you can just pull from it and you feel like you're shopping at your own house and it's so much fun. I'm gonna add some of these little buds to my wreath. Always add some variation of flowers, some fuller ones, some not full ones like this right here, and then some buds into your wreath because that will make it look more natural. Then I want to add perhaps some of these, let me see, I'm gonna add some of this pink, but just a few tulips. I'm gonna add, let's see, 3, 2. I'm gonna add 5 of them. And then I'm gonna add my Dollar Tree flowers. So I'm gonna start with the tulips because they are so delicate. What I wanna do is I'm gonna group them. So I'm gonna group 2 and always stagger them. Like look how this one is up and then this one is down. Then I'm gonna cut a little bit of this excess. I'm going to insert them together into my wreath and look what this does, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip my stems into the glue. I'm going to look for a place to put her, and that's going to make them look like they're just springing out from the wreath form, and I love it. Then on this one I'm going to do a set of another 2 together. Always work in sets, you guys. When you have this small of a flower and so delicate of a flower, whether it's natural or it's silk, always work in sets instead of having one. And now look what these 2 did. What you want to do is want to swirl them together like this, and then they end up being closer together when you insert them into your wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the glue, and I'm going to add these guys right here, making space for them. And just always make sure the stems go into the wreath form like that, and they're popping out. And then I'm gonna do one lonely one over here, like this guy lost his way. So I'm gonna add some of my glue. I'm gonna open space for it, and I'm just gonna insert it right there. So that is our first element, and I started with the smallest element, and we're gonna grow into the bigger elements. That is another trick I can give you, because what that does is help you with when you get to the bigger items. It helps you hide some of the bigger holes that you may have on your wreath form. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna chop this off a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little curve. Remember to always give it a little curve. And I'm going to go one right here, and then I'm gonna add one tiny little bud with it. So I'm gonna cut this guy right here and give it a little tug, and then I'm going to add this guy right here with it. So it's a flower and a bud. So that's two of them. Then we're going to add another one of these peonies, and I'm gonna add it right here to the bottom. And I want this guy to come down. Instead of being a focal point, it's just gonna drape down. Because remember, not all flowers can be a focal point on your wreath. And then I'm gonna add two buds to that to make it a set of three. Does anyone have any questions so far? I'm gonna take a second to look at my camera over here. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Kelly. Mary Helen Gonzalez. When is it too much green leaves? It really depends on the look that you're going for, because this is a spring wreath, and I am in California now. And if you were here, there is greenery everywhere I go. All kinds of flowers, tropical flowers, regular flowers, spring flowers, but there's all kinds of flowers. So I'm trying to make this really springy, but I'm going to let you decide when you think it's too much greenery. As long as you have enough flowers to make up for the greenery, then I like a better, like a lushier and a more expensive look. So that's why I always like to add a variety of greens. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this guy, because I have one right here. I don't want to put it right across from it, so I'm just gonna go down a little bit, and I'm gonna make this this tulip have a friend right here. Then we're gonna add one of these orange. This orange rose, and I'm going to go ahead and add it across like a neighbor. I always like to think of my flowers like they're friends. And so now I'm gonna have another orange one right here, and this I'm about to give you another tip. Look how I just got that flower, and now I have this tiny little green guy. Well, he cannot be wasted, so we're gonna go ahead and add it into the greenery. Just add it right here by a flower. Just a little character, don't waste it. All right, so then we're gonna add one to the inside of it. Always scoop your foliage up. You don't wanna dip it into your glue because it looks gross. So we're gonna add this guy right here, but more towards the inside. And you see how this is creating a grouping right here? That's what we wanna do. And also, here's a huge tip. When you do groupings, don't do them all together, because then you're not gonna have a balance of color in your wreath. So always start with the single ones, and then go back and add, and then create groupings of those flowers, because that will make so much more sense, you guys, than just adding groups, and then you're not gonna have enough product to finish. So I have two right here. I'm gonna add a third one to that area and make it groups of, remember, always work in groups of 3, 2s, and 1s. So I'm gonna add this guy right here. And so it's having that full, and I feel like I need one right here. So thankfully for me, I have a collection of flowers, so I can just pull from it. And see what I'm saying? Every time that you go to one of your local thrift stores, or anytime that you go to any of your garage sales, and if they have silk flowers that look really good quality, buy them, create yourself a wall of flowers, and pull from them. And you guys wait till we get to fall and Christmas, and you see my collection. I'm just gonna be pulling like crazy from my collection. You are gonna wanna do the same. So that's another tip I can give you. All right, so far so good. So what I'm gonna do now that I have some fancy expensive flowers in, I'm gonna pull out my inexpensive ones from the Dollar Tree. and this is gonna help to fill in some of my gaps. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them all at once right here. You know, I'm a big fan of the Dollar Tree flowers. However, if you do all Dollar Tree flowers, it's gonna make your wreath look very inexpensive. But if you mix them with other premium flowers, then you're gonna have a really luscious wreath in for half of the cost because you're not using all premium flowers. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these beautiful lavender flowers, and these ones do have a tendency to drape down. So I'm just gonna let them. I don't know if this is wisteria because it's not lavender. It's too big to be lavender. But I'm gonna do one there, and then I'm gonna add one up here, kind of together. Look how pretty that looks, you guys. Just a touch of purple. It really helps to break all of that yellow and pink. And then when I add the yellow, it's going to look so pretty, I promise. Alright, so we're going to add one right here towards the outside of it. Always make sure that it gets inserted into the wreath form. That way when the glue dries, it will never come off. I feel like it needs one right here towards the inside, so I'm going to go ahead and add this guy right here. And then we're going to insert one towards the bottom right here. And always keep an eye for the balance. That's all I can say. Just keep an eye to make sure that the same color, and that's why I always like to put one color or one flower at a time, because you can keep the balance going. If you just wait till later to add it later, then you're not gonna have enough product, and you're gonna always end up spending more money because you're gonna try and go back and add more just because it won't have that balance. And look how it's looking full that way. Well, it needs one right here and one right here to fill the whole wreath and make it look fuller. All right, let me see. Do we have any questions? Regan Davis says, I think those purple ones maybe the tea's version of lilac. So these might be lilac. Hey, I learned something neat today. And lilac smells so good. I actually, working as a flower designer here in California, I have come in touch with so many new flowers I've never seen in my life or smelled in my life. Like I thought I had a favorite flower, but now I have a new favorite, and that's jasmine, you guys. It grows wild here in California. It grows like a wildfire, and it smells like heaven. I brought Jameson a little piece of jasmine the other day because I wanted him to smell it. So I put it on his hands, and then I just went, take a deep breath. And he took a really deep breath, and I said, what does it smell like? He's like, man, that touched my soul. It just smells so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna add this to the inside, right here. So that it's creating a balance into my wreath. Now I'm gonna add these really pretty yellow daffodils, and that's gonna do the trick for this wreath because that yellow is so striking that wait till you see what yellow does. Yellow is always just an accent flower. You don't want to do a whole bunch of yellow because then it's going to be super striking, and unless you're going for that look, I don't recommend you do all yellow, but just adding a little touch of yellow. Look what this is doing. It's so pretty. Look, all you have to do is just a little touch of yellow. I'm gonna add one right here, and I'm gonna put another one right here. Since I have plenty of these, I'm gonna try and group them together because they are a smaller flower, and that's another trick I can give you. When you have smaller flowers, always just try to group them together because they make a bigger impact than if they are by themselves. So we're gonna go ahead and add another one probably right here with this, guys, right there. And then I'm gonna put a friend close by. And if you don't want to group them together, just make sure they're close by, so your eye, when your eye travels that area, then see how they're not quite together, but they look much brighter just by being in the vicinity of each other. Let's see, I feel like it needs one right here, so I'm gonna do maybe 2 or 3 there. Let's see. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some blue to this, and I want to show you another trick. I promised you I was gonna be full of tricks when I came back. All right, let me see. I have to pull forward so I can see what I'm doing. All right, let's add one more right there in the vicinity of it. And we have a few more. So I'm gonna leave some of them just longer and put them up in the air where the longer foliages are. Like they're shooting away from the wreath. Look how pretty that looks. Instead of being tucked in, and I'm gonna do one more back here on the bottom. Look at that. It just helps to go all the way around. It's kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing because I cannot see the front of it. But I hope it's turning out okay. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are liking it. Let's see, I guess I can see it on the camera. So yeah, it needs something right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some right here. Sorry if you see the back of my head. Right here. Always give it a tag. And let me see. I have a last one, so where can I put it? Oh yeah, that's looking pretty. Let me see. Let me read some comments. I agree, Jane. What's Jane say? Ramon, you are natural at what you do. A great teacher and a great inspiration to people. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. That purple is beautiful. I think those purple ones maybe okay. Diane Gaines says making it stand up like they really help that area. Looks great. Oh, good. I'm so glad you guys like it. So it's looking really good. Let's see. I want to put one right here in the middle. So we need to make sure that it shoots up like that. Look how pretty that is. Just that little touch of yellow really helps. So now I want to add, I feel like it's looking really good, but I want to add just a little touch of blue. And so I have this blue hydrangea, and because I only have one, what you can do is you can always cut this one into little pieces, and I'll show you. I'm just going to cut this guy and use it as little bushels instead of using one big hydrangea. We're going to do little bushels of it. That's another trick I can give you. Just because it's one doesn't mean that you cannot make it more. I mean, you can make, look, you can group two of them together. And look what this blue is going to do to this wreath. I'm going to add one right here. Look at that. It's so pretty. And it's just going to look like a little pop, like this hydrangea is just picking through all of these beautiful colors. All right, let's see. I'm gonna add that right there. Just a little touch of blue. I feel like it needs one right here. So I'm just grouping two of the little hydrangea little bushels. I'm just grouping them in twos and making a bigger one. Instead of having just one big clump of hydrangea, then you break that. And actually we do that with fresh flowers too, you guys. Sometimes we just break that hydrangea into smaller pieces to fill in some other areas. And like I said, I just wanted a little touch of blue to make it a little bit more springy. Let's see, I need one maybe right here up on the top. So I'm gonna do a little space for it. I'm gonna open up a little space for it, and I'm gonna insert it right there. What do you guys think so far? Are you liking this masterclass? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you do, because I want to continue to do this for you guys. Don't forget to share with your friends. And actually, let me make sure that I share this on my Facebook page. Let's see. Okay, people are still... Let's see. All right, so let's continue on. So this is looking really good. We have our tulips, we have our cabbage roses, our lilac. I just found out this is lilac. Our daffodils. We have our peonies. We have a lot of color going on because I want it to be very colorful and very lush. And I'm going to go ahead and add some of these fern just to add a little bit of texture, a little bit more delicate. And that will help soften up all of those harsher greeneries. And like I said, I always keep one of the greens towards the end, and it usually is this wispy one. I always like to add just a little touch of wispiness in some areas where I might need to fill in, and wait till you see what this does. Look, it just makes it look a little bit more lush and a little bit more wispy, and this can just go in areas like I feel like it needs right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add one right here. And look how pretty that looks. It's just wispy and it moves so pretty. I will put this in my front gate and I will take a picture so I can show you guys on Instagram what it looks like. I feel like it needs filled in right here where this rose is. I have a few more to add. Let's see. I'm gonna add one right here to fill in. Gonna bring this guy up a little. Let's see. I feel like it needs one right here. See, this is just in this at this point we're just filling in the form because we don't want to see any of the form. So get that out of the way, and I'm going to add one right here to fill in this area. All right, you guys, I think this will be it for our first wreath masterclass. It is a pretty spring wreath with lots of color, lots of yellow, lots of pink, lots of smaller daffodils and lavender, or I'm sorry, lilac, and a few touches of orange to make it pop from a distance. You want this to look very poppy from a distance. Let me see. You know what? I have these grasses. I think I want to add some of these grass. Let me see what these will do for my collection wall. Let's see. Do you guys think I should add this grass to it? Can you see? Like if I add some grass to it to extend it even more. Let me see what you guys think. Add the grass. Loving this idea. The wreath is beautiful. Love you, love you. No grass said. If I added the grass, look what it does. Like let me just put it right here. It just gives it a little bit more movement when you open the gate. Says no grass. Just love the grass texture. All right, so people don't like the grass, so we're not gonna go ahead and add the grass. We'll save it for something else. But like I said, now that I have this one, I also had bought this one, but I'm not gonna use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it with my collection of greeneries and flowers, and I have this one left. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one shooting down right here just to fill in. See how it helped to fill in. All right, you guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Like I said, I am back, and from here on out, we're gonna be talking about decorating. You're gonna help me decorate my own home. I'm gonna be doing this project. This is gonna go on my front gate. Thank you for watching. Share with your friends if you like this video. Don't forget to like and share. And what else? I'll be back. My plan is to do these master classes not only about wreath making and flower arranging, but also for decorating. We're gonna talk pillows. We're gonna talk artwork. We're gonna talk console tables. We're gonna talk dishes. We're gonna talk entertaining. We're gonna talk all kinds of things on the master class, and that's what I want to call it, Ramona Home Master Class, because I want to go into detail about making these projects, like how to set the table. And then on Sundays you'll have me and Jamison doing our live session for you guys, and we'll have so much more on Sundays. But I hope you guys like it. From here on out, I am back to bother you with my live videos, with my videos, with my decorating, my flower arranging, my wreath making, my seasonal decorating, Christmas, fall. I cannot wait. And thank you for being so patient. Thank you, appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming back and staying with me all these months, and for helping me to get through to all those dark times in my life. I could not be more thankful, but as of right now, this is our first project, and from here on out, Ramona Home is back. Thank you guys. Bye.